Hey everyone, Ben from Snowboard Gamer. Welcome to episode 47 of This Week in Board Games. In this weekly show, I share with you all the games we played last week, go over any interesting board game news, and show any new purchases. If you're new around here, none of my content is sponsored, which gives us the freedom to play what we want, share it with you, and give our unbiased opinion. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any content. I'm filming on location here in Austin, Texas at my friend's house this week. We're down here visiting family and friends, and I'm going to share with you all the board games we played this last week. We've got a fun, packed episode. We visited a gaming bar in Austin, Texas, and went to the Bluebell Creamery. The spotlight this week is on a game called Wizard. Wizard is for 3 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, and plays in about 45 minutes. Wizard is a trick-taking game that is played with a 60-card deck, a standard 52-card deck with 4 jesters and 4 wizards. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. At the beginning of each round, the dealer starts to his left and deals cards equal to the current round to each player. For example, in round 1, everyone gets 1 card. In round 2, everyone gets 2 cards, and in round 10, everyone gets 10 cards. Once everyone has their cards dealt, the dealer flips over the top card of the deck. That suit is the trump suit for the round. If a jester is flipped, there is no trump suit, and if a wizard is flipped, the dealer chooses the trump suit for the round. Then, starting with the player to the left of the dealer in clockwise order, each person bids on how many tricks they think they can win. In round 1, there is only 1 trick to be won. In round 10, there will be 10 tricks to be won. The dealer bids last. Once everyone has bid, play starts with the player left of the dealer. That player plays a card. Everyone else has to play a card of the same suit, and the highest card of that suit wins the trick. Whoever wins the trick leads off for the next trick. During play, if a trick is led with a jester, then the next player's card determines the suit for that trick. You may only play trump if you are out of the suit that was led. For example, let's say diamonds were led. The trump suit is spades. You have to play a diamond if you have one, but if you are out of diamonds, then you can play whatever you want, including trump. If a trump is played, it will beat the highest diamond. In this example, a 2 of spades would beat the king of diamonds. If multiple trump cards are played, then the highest trump card wins the trick. There is one exception to this rule. The jester and wizard can be played at any time, even if you still have the suit that was led with. The jester is nothing, and the wizard beats everything. In the case that multiple wizards are played on the same trick, the first wizard that was played wins the trick. Play continues until all tricks have been taken for the round. If you met your bid, you score 20 points, even if you bid 0 tricks. If you met your bid and also won some tricks, you score an additional 10 points for each trick you won. For example, if you bid 2 and won 2 tricks, you would score 40 points, 20 for meeting your bid, and 20 for the 2 tricks you won. If you don't meet your bid, you score -10 for each number that you are off of your bid. For example, if you bid 3 and ended up getting 4, you would score -10. The same goes if you bid 3 and only got 2. If you bid 3 and got 1, you would be -20 for being 2 off of your bid. Each round, the dealer rotates clockwise. Play continues until the last round, which will have no trump suit since all cards get dealt out. The player with the most points at the end of the game wins. There are other variants of this game that include secret bidding, where bids are revealed at the end of the round. I've got my wife Allison on today. What do you think about Wizard, Allison?
Wizard is my all-time #1 most favorite game ever.
Number 1 for you?
It's definitely my #1 favorite game.
So why is it your favorite game?
I have loved this game from literally the very first time we ever played it with some friends in like 2008, 9?
Yeah, 10 years ago probably.
Yeah. I really love that it's such a simple game, but it does take an element of strategy. And also, there's not a lot of downtime. So I feel like sometimes when I play like really deep games, I'll get kind of bored. By the time it's my turn again, I'm like, where were we? What are we doing here?
Right.
But with Wizard, it's just constantly moving. And so there's not a lot of time to wait for somebody else to take their turn. And then you're getting bored. And it's just pretty fast paced. And also, if you can't tell, I am a talker. And
yes.
I like to chat. So when I play Wizard with friends, we can have like a fun conversation going on while we play the game. So I feel like you kind of get to like kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
One of the things I like is that it goes up to 6 players. Not a lot of games will go to that high of a player count, and this one plays very well at 6 players.
It does. What types of things do you dislike about Wizard?
I'll be honest, the first time I played it, I didn't like the game that much because I felt like I had a great plan and I had a good set of cards, and then someone throws a wizard out and just totally hosed me on it. But the more I've gotten to play the game, the more I actually like the aspect of the wizards and the jesters. That's what makes the game so interesting. Let's say you have a handful of trump cards and someone leads off with trump, which is a very dirty move.
Super dirty move.
Yeah, they force everyone to play their trumps. You can play a jester and keep your trump cards. And then people don't know if you have trump or how many you have. Or you could play wizard and just take the hand, and then you don't have to sacrifice your trump cards.
If there's more bids on the table than there are tricks, and you know that somebody really, really needs that trick because they played like a king or an ace, if you throw the wizard down on top, it's so dirty, but you can make sure you get your trick that you need.
And then you're not the one stuck with the extra one.
Yeah, and I always overbid. I'm really bad. Like, I win this game sometimes, but you'd think being my favorite game, I would win it constantly. I really don't, though. It's just, I also love this game because some of the games that we play, I feel like we get so into them that by the end of it, like there's like cards flying and people are storming off. And like sometimes we can get pretty heated when we play games and get mad at each other. But with Wizard, like no matter how dirty the play is, no matter how bad you lose or how much you win by, everybody still leaves in a good mood. And
it's true.
Some of the strategy games that we play, I get really hesitant to do something that attacks another person. Like it's set with Catan. Like I hate putting the robber on somebody. Like I will avoid it just because I don't want them mad at me. But with Wizard, I feel like I can be a little bit like more aggressive, and I don't have to worry about people getting upset.
But yeah, no, you're right. This one, win or lose, it's always fun, and it's a great game if you don't want to be super involved in a game.
I think that's it. It like fills the downtime while you're socializing with your friends, but it doesn't get in the way of socializing with your friends. So you all have something to do, so there's no like awkward silence or anything, but it's not so involved that you're completely focusing on the game and not getting to have that conversation. I think that's what it boils down to. I'm a really social gamer, and I like to do games that are very social. And also, the more you play with the same group of people, the more you start to understand their strategy. And like for me, I like to get my tricks either right at the very beginning or wait till the very end and then steal them at the last second.
Run the table with the last three.
Yeah, like if you need 2 tricks, like I wait till there's 2 cards left and I run the table, because if I wait till there's 3 cards, there's a chance I'm gonna get stuck with that third one. But then like you play with Travis, he like always wants them right up front. So if I'm trying to get them, if I'm playing with Travis, I know he's probably going to put a wizard on top of my best card if I try and win the trick early on. The more you play with the same group of people, the more fun it gets.
Well, thanks for coming on again, Allison.
Thanks for having me.
If you like trick-taking games, definitely check out Wizard. It's only $8. I just picked the new copy up because we've shredded our old one, and this one was $7.95 at a local game store. Let's jump into the Vigilante Gaming Bar vlog. Check it out. We're meeting some friends at a gaming bar in Austin, Texas called Vigilante. Let's go check it out. This place is really cool. They have a menu for their games. It looks like a food menu. And when you want to play a game, you just order it and they bring it to your table. They've got all the games neatly stored in these wooden boxes, and the shelves also have a hidden passageway behind them to a private room that you can rent out. Very cool. The bathrooms even had decorations in the bathrooms on the walls. They charge $5 per person to get in the door and get a gaming table for the night. But on Tuesday nights it was free, so we didn't have to pay the cover charge. The food was really good, but it was small portions, kind of like tapas. They also have a full bar menu. The corner of each table has a cup holder for your drinks, as well as a little component tray.
On my side of the table, I have a server button and an Ethernet, a little drawer. It's got a pen and eraser in it. And then this spot here is for this cool thing that holds cards.
We are hanging out with Sean and Carrie at the Vigilante Gaming Bar in Austin, Texas. First game, Potion Explosion. Potion Explosion is for 2 to 4 players ages 8 and up and plays in 30 to 45 minutes. This is a game where you're taking marbles out of this contraption in the middle of the table and then collecting the marbles, which are ingredients for potions. If you want to know more about that game, go check out the spotlight I did in episode 44. I'll put a link in the description. Game 2 is Clank.
Clank!
Sean's almost out. I think he's gonna kill us all.
Yes, die, die, die.
Clank is for 2 to 4 players ages 12 and up and plays in 30 to 60 minutes. Clink is a deck building game with a board. So think Dominion. If you've played Dominion, you purchase cards, but the cards have movement on them also. So not only are you buying other cards, but you're moving, they also have swords on them that you fight monsters with and get gold from killing monsters. This is a great game, especially if you like the deck building genre. They've really done a good job on it. The next game we played is Beasts. I just did a spotlight on this in last week's episode 46. I'll put a link in the description. This is a great game for higher player counts with friends and families. We've been playing this a lot this week. Everyone we've introduced this to has loved it. Go check out the spotlight if you want to hear more about it. The next game we played is Welcome to the Dungeon. This is for 2 to 4 players ages 10 and up and plays in about 30 minutes. This is a game that's played with a deck of 13 cards, and then there's a hero in the middle of the table that has 6 abilities. On your turn, you draw the top card of the deck, look at it. It's a monster with health anywhere from 1 to 9. You either put it in the dungeon face down so no one else can see, or you put it in front of you face down and you remove one of the powers from the hero. And you keep going until everyone passes except one player. That player runs the dungeon, and if they can successfully kill all the monsters in there, then they get a medal. And if you get 2 medals, you win. But if you die running the dungeon, you get 1 damage, and if you get 2 damage, you're out of the game. This has a lot of push your luck element to it, as well as bluffing. This is a great micro game. It plays in less than 30 minutes. We've really gotten into these smaller 15 to 30 minute games lately, and this is a good one. The next game we played is a game called Fuse. This is for 1 to 5 players ages 10 and up and plays in 10 minutes. My friend Sean brought it over and we played it 5 player. This is a cooperative game where you're trying to defuse bombs, which is where it gets the name Fuse from. Everyone has 2 cards in front of them, which are the bombs, and there's a bag of dice. And on your turn, you draw dice out equal to the number of players and roll them, and then everyone places them on their cards. Each card has a different requirement in order to properly defuse that bomb. And if you can't place all 5 of the dice, 1 at each person, then there's a penalty. And you roll, you're placing them. It's kind of crazy. When you complete them, you put the dice back in the bag and pass it around, and you're trying to get through the whole deck of cards before time runs out. We're playing Fuse. Sean and Carrie brought it. Hey.
Take the 1 or the 2.
Anything.
Or the green.
I can take anything.
Oh, I lied. I can't take this.
Here, I'll take it. I want it.
Sorry. Bye, Dad. Oh, wait, what am I doing?
Kind of chaotic, stressful game, and I really enjoyed it. The next game we played is A Game of Thrones Hand of the King. This is for 2 to 4 players ages 14 and up and plays in 15 to 30 minutes. This is another one of these micro games. In this one, you're moving Varys around trying to influence all 7 of the houses and become Hand of the King. We've played this several times before, and it's a fairly lightweight game. We played it with Sean and Carrie, who are more serious gamers, and this turned into much more cutthroat of a game than I thought it could be. Really enjoyed it. This is great with light gamers, introducing people to board games, or even for the more cutthroat strategic board game. The next game we played is another game that's good for high player counts. It's called The Great Moody. This one came out in 1995. This is a trick-taking game where you're trying to get rid of your cards first. And it's a weighted deck, so there's 1 number 1, 3 number 3s, and 12 number 12s. And you start off by leading a certain number of cards, like 4 12s, and then everyone else has to play 4 of a kind, but a number less than 12. And you keep going around till everyone passes, and then whoever won that trick leads off again. First person out is the Great Moody, second person out is a Lesser Moody, and you actually change the order that you sit in each round. My only complaint about this is that there's no ending to the game. You just kind of play until you're done playing. But this is a good one if you don't want a brain burner game, you just want a fun, lighthearted game, and you like trick-taking games. While we were in Austin, we took a trip down to Brenham, Texas to visit the Bluebell Creamery. We are on the way to the Bluebell Creamery in Brenham, Texas, and we're stopping at a hole-in-the-wall barbecue place called Truth Barbecue.
We are in Brenham, Texas, heading to the Bluebell factory, and we just ate the most delicious barbecue at Truth Barbecue. It's this little tiny hole in the wall.
So good.
Good stuff.
Another large player count game that we played this week is Secret Hitler, and this is our most played game of last year and so far our most played game of this year also. It plays very well with high player counts. It's 5 to 10 players, plays in about 45 minutes. We really enjoy Secret Hitler. This time we played more in the 5 to 6 player count. With 5 to 6 players, it's a much more intimate game. The liberals have to get it pretty much 100% right, especially in a 5-player game, or the fascists win. For the news this week, I've got a few pieces of news. The first one is that the Origins Gaming Convention is going on right now. I was not able to go this year. I would love to go next year. We'll see about that. I'll be interested to see what board games come out of it. We should have quite a few announced this week at Origins. Next, I'm going to give 2 shout outs to some fellow board game content producers. They're both hosting giveaways right now, so go check them out and enter their giveaways. The first one is Nerdish27. This is an Instagram account, and she makes custom dice trays and dice box holders. She's made a Game of Thrones one that is really awesome. Go check her out and follow her on Instagram and enter her giveaway. The second one is Pacific Northwest Gamer. He also runs an Instagram account and recently started a YouTube channel. He's giving away a copy of Imhotep on his YouTube channel, so go check that out and enter it. That's a really fun game. We played it a lot a year or two ago. One more piece of news, which is coupled with my new purchases this week. I bought the digital version of Scythe. Now, I talked last week about how I'm not a big fan of digital versions because I prefer to sit down at a table and play board games the old-fashioned way, face-to-face. I want to check this one out because I do have a friend who lives in another state, and it would be nice to be able to get online and play a game of Scythe with him. In early access, they're supposed to have full single-player solo worked out, as well as local multiplayer. I'm interested to check it out. The only negative that I see so far is that it's on Windows only. They did not come out with a Mac version or a Linux version, but maybe they'll do that before they release it. I hope so. That's it for this week in board games. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'd love to hear what games you are playing. Leave them in the comments below. And if you like this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up and telling your friends about it. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.